Hello everybody, 1-0 to Arsenal against Manchester United, and I've got to say, this is probably, I always read the comments anyway, but lucky Arsenal. And I don't even say it to take a pop at Arsenal. Winning when you play badly is how you win titles, and if I was an Arsenal fan, as I said over on the United stand, it's like Christmas. Santa's your man of the match, not Raya. It was a gift from Biinda in a game that should have been a draw. I mean, maybe Man United should have won it. They won on everything, passing, shots, duels, everything. And I think it's a great result for Arsenal. I mean, I've got to look at this game from an Arsenal perspective because I've spoken about it from a Man United perspective. But I'm really happy as a United fan. We've been so bad for so long. The Cunha signing, the Mbeumo signing, didn't see enough of Šeško, but the system worked. We looked better. We still need a goalkeeper, we still need a midfielder, but that's a lot better from Manchester United from the shower of shit we saw in that Europa League final against Spurs, who were missing 3 or 4 of their best players, and we had no response to a scrappy goal in the first half. A crappy goal in the first half, and we stayed in the game. We showed mentality. Man United aren't going to be in a title race. We need to get 5th. That's what we're going for. And based on today, Newcastle lost 12 games last year and got 5th. Losing a scrappy game to Arsenal, if you keep your heads up and go again, this could be a new start for Manchester United. But from Arsenal's point of view, it's a fantastic result. I mean, you look at that team today and I'd go, the big thing for me about Arsenal is you talk about the phases of Arteta. And I've always been a big fan of Arteta and felt that people were getting on his back when he's building a team. I think it got to the point last season where they finished second and you go, you're so close, you need a striker and you need a bench. You look at that bench today, oh my God, you've got Havertz on there, you've got Madueke on there, Luis Skelly, Wanyari, Marino, Mascara. It's just a brilliant bench. And then the first team's good as well. So I think from Arsenal, what better way to start the season than going to Old Trafford, winning 1-0, and it's 3 points. And do you need to analyse the performance? No, because they can be way better than that. But the fundamentals are still there. And I was saying this on the United stand. We won't play defences like that every week. When the ball's in and around the box and it's getting blocked and cleared. Arsenal have had the best defence in the league for the last 2 years. It's not luck that they didn't concede today. It's a good goalkeeper and a brilliant defence. And that's why the luck goes their way on the blocks and everything like that, because they're bloody good defenders. Look at that ball through from Bruno to Mbeumo, and you think Mbeumo's going to get there. Gabriel, strong, quick, gets there. Saliba, interceptions. Raya with brilliant saves. It was just a brilliant defensive performance from Arsenal. But look, in an attacking sense, Saka was really quiet. I thought Odegaard played well. Rice didn't have his best game. Zubimendi's going to take time to settle in. I'd be over the moon if I was Arsenal. I'd be soaking it up. United fans, we're all going, good performance. We felt a bit robbed. We weren't robbed. We weren't unlucky. Our board didn't go and get a goalkeeper. Your board did. And that's why your goalkeeper didn't get bullied when he punched it away, and ours palmed it in his own goal. And that's the margins at the highest level. Fine margins. That's what that game comes down to. Man United were the better team. Arsenal took the 3 points. I know where I'd be happy. Although, as a United fan, we're so far off title races, I will take a good performance and a 1-0 loss to Arsenal. But it should have been a draw. But from an Arsenal point of view, I think the big thing I want to say is this. There's going to be clips, compilations and piss takes of Gyökeres. And absolutely, he looked rusty. He looked off the pace. De Ligt absolutely pocketed him. He was Man United's best player. But I wouldn't be too worried because Gyökeres looked miles off. And if you're an Arsenal fan that's not getting behind him and concerned, you're not doing your job. One thing about modern society I keep saying is this TikTok generation of instant gratification and swiping up. In football, it doesn't work. There are so many players over the years that start off slowly and get good. This is a player coming in from a different league into a massive game at a massive ground with huge scrutiny without a pre-season, and he looks rusty and he doesn't get one shot on goal. I wouldn't be worried about it. I'm convinced this guy is going to score a lot of goals, but it might take 3 or 4 weeks for him to start to look sharp because he didn't have a pre-season and he's got to get used to Arsenal. So I wouldn't be worried. If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be going, bring it on. If I was Gyökeres, I'd be going, bring it on. If I was Arteta, I'd be going, bring it on. because my team is stronger than it was last year, and I've got one of the best strikers in Europe, and I've still got Havertz, and I've still got, Zubimendi. I've now got Zubimendi in my midfield. So Arsenal generally looked off it today. I don't think they looked... They reminded me of Villa yesterday. They just looked like an opening day can be like that. And that's why I think being at home on opening day is really good. I mean, obviously Man City were the away team yesterday, but when you look at the teams being at home, Liverpool, if that had been at Bournemouth, I think it might have been a tougher game. Chelsea have just drawn against Palace at home. Sunderland beat West Ham at home. It's an advantage to be at home on the opening day because nobody's ready. Pre-season does not prepare you for match sharpness. That comes from playing competitive games where it matters. So that would have been a really difficult game for Arsenal. And as they're heading back down the M6, they'll be over the moon because they'll be going, we've got a really tough start to the season. We've got to play Liverpool in a couple of weeks. That could have been a draw today. We've got 3 points. We've got 3 points on the board. And if United play like that against Man City, Chelsea and Liverpool, they're going to give them a difficult game, and we've took 3 points. So I think it's a fantastic result for Arsenal. It's a weird one for United because the only people I'm angry with is the board for not getting a goalkeeper. I thought we played well. We beat, as I said, on the key stats, we beat Arsenal on everything. I was talking about it. Brilliant new feature on FOTMob actually is about distance covered, and I think I'm right in saying that it was Zubimendi and Odegaard who covered more distance than anybody else on the pitch, 11.6 kilometres. I think Dorgu and Bruno were third and fourth on 11.1. So, look, the work rate and intensity of Arsenal today without the ball was credible. That midfield has worked really hard. Their defence was very, very good. The attack, look, Saka was not in the game. If we're being completely honest, that was not a good performance from Saka either. It will always be about Gyökeres because he's a new signing, but it wasn't a good result from them. But look, I've done all my talking on the United stand about United, so I wanted to come on here and talk about Arsenal. Lucky Arsenal, yes, but I'd be sat there with a grin on my face going, yeah, I'd rather be lucky and winning than unlucky and losing, and especially when you're in a title race. For us, United, I think we can take a lot from that, and if we win a load of other games, we might get fifth, we might get fourth. But for Arsenal, you want more of those games where you play badly and you win, because that's how you win titles. So for Arsenal, that's a great start. They've got to be better. They've got to play better. They didn't create much today. They were very rusty, but they're always going to have a good defence. And when you've got a strong defence, you can get results like that today. Thanks everybody for watching. Get your thoughts in below. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. And I'm telling you now, Gyökeres, take the piss out of him. I'm convinced he's going to be an absolute goal threat. Speak to you in a bit. Take care.